Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes the effects and techniques of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. No?
No. Wrong show!
Welcome to Love It or Riff It, the show where we're going to talk about movies, tell you whether or not we love them, or we're going to riff them to shreds because we are heartless. I'm Chuck.
I'm Jeremy.
And this is Love It or Riff It.
Brought to you by Twin Pines Pictures.
You can watch any of our movies by clicking on this side of the screen. Hopefully we've set our page up right where they list them there. YouTube's confusing. But anyway, this is a show where we're just going to talk about movies. Doesn't matter, new releases, old releases, who cares? We just like talking about movies. And usually after we see a movie, we talk for like an hour afterwards anyway. So
just an hour?
I don't know. We stand outside in the cold after we go see a new release, and we just talk about what we just saw. So
absolutely. Stand in a circle and talk about what we just saw for a good 2-3 hours, freezing cold in the rain. So we decided, why not record it? Yeah. If we're going to suffer through those conversations, we thought you all should too.
You're welcome. So, Jeremy, what is this first movie, the kickoff movie, the movie that's going to take this show into the stratosphere of awesomeness?
Well, Chuck, the movie is called Hell or High Water.
Yeah?
Cue trailer.
You know, the bank loan, just enough to keep your mama poor. Thought they could swipe her land.
It's a big bank.
It's too big. That's what she said.
Now they can foreclose on Friday. So come hell or high water,
Get the money to the bank on Thursday.
and then you are free and clear.
Hell or High Water got a lot of praise this last year. It is actually a Oscar contender for Best Picture. So must do something, right? And
Yeah?
in my opinion, it does a lot right.
Yes.
It stars, we already said who it stars, so never mind.
Ben Foster, Chris Pine?
Yes.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. And cameo by Del Dickey, too. Knoxville alum. But Hell or High Water is about two brothers who go on a bank robbing spree.
Yes.
And Jeff Bridges plays a Texas Ranger who is assigned the case to go after them.
Because the FBI don't want it because they're small podunk banks
Absolutely.
or something like that. So the first scene, it opens with a oneer, kind of. Yeah, there's a oneer. It's a oneer.
It's a long shot.
It's a very long
It's a mini loner.
Mini oneer, yeah. You see the car driving around, and then you see the other car, it pulls behind a building, and then
Starts off very slow.
very slow.
Very low key.
it's a panning shot is what it is. It pans all the way around, almost 360, I want to say.
It's very nice.
Yeah, very pretty. And that's when we are introduced to Dale Dickey.
She gets out and she starts to head to the bank. And we see our main character's car pull up, which is a very classic looking blue Camaro. I'm not sure. I do not know cars. Looks just like the car we used in Coin, which was really exciting.
Yes.
Not exciting, just was.
I mean, that's one of the first things I said. I was watching, I was like, hey, that's Tommy's car.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Looks just like Coin.
Bro, that thing is flying after us. Hold on to something.
It's a great introductory scene.
It is.
Just because it shows
The difference between the two characters.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's what you're going to say, but that's what I take away from it. You see the difference between Ben Foster, who's very eccentric, and you see Chris Pine, who is the calmer, thinks things through, and yeah, you get that. You see that contrast almost right away.
he's definitely more, you can tell he's out of his element
Yes,
as well.
very much so.
It's a very good scene. So let's talk about our actors right there. Our two leads are Ben Foster and Chris Pine. And,
Yes.
let's talk about Ben Foster first. In my mind, he's a very underrated actor. And I don't mean like most people who talk about Ben Foster, they usually do recognize the talent that he has.
Yes.
But it's just, he's such a talented actor
He is.
who gets just the worst roles
Yeah,
in movies.
yeah. I don't know why. I don't. Is it him? Is it his agent? Why does he get bad movie roles?
And he's great in these roles.
Yeah.
But it's just the movies he are in. They never stand out. They never rise above the mediocrity.
Yeah.
Of.
So it's good to see him finally get some recognition with this movie.
Absolutely.
Potentially award-winning film.
Mm-hmm.
Our other actor is Chris Pine,
Mm-hmm.
who is too good-looking for this movie, in my opinion. He's got those dreamy blue eyes, much like someone that's sitting here. But, but no, I mean he is a he's really good in this movie.
He's very good.
Very good. And I can only compare him to Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really the only thing there was something else that just popped in my head. Princess Diaries or something with the Disney movie.
He was in Princess Diaries Part 2.
Yes.
Yes, he was in that. Yes,
I don't know why that popped in my head, but it did.
He played John Rhys Davies' nephew. In that.
Yes. But anyway, so I can really only compare him to Star Trek, and I mean it's not fair because it's two different characters.
It is.
Kirk and Spock. Kirk and Spock.
Kirk and Spock.
Kirk and Toby. His character's name is Toby.
Is it Toby?
Yes.
You sure? It's not Tanner and Travis?
It's Tanner and Tanner. Yeah, Foster plays Tanner and Pine plays Toby and Bridges plays Marcus.
Oh, I did not know that.
I have a notebook with
So
notes.
Toby and Tanner.
Anyway, that's not really. We're not going to go by their character names because it doesn't matter. But no, Chris Pine does an amazing job in it. He's plays that role very well, very thoughtful. It's very different, like I said, from what I've seen him in, and I really enjoyed his performance.
No, he does it very well, and he does a lot without doing a lot. He's a very quiet and very stoic character in it, I guess. Would that be the word, stoic? I don't know, but
yeah, I see what you're saying. He's a thinker. He thinks about things, and so he doesn't say a whole lot.
And I think you can see in the fact that, in the movie, his brother, played by Ben Foster, he's the criminal of the family. I mean, he's in and out of jail. It's established very early on that he is the one who is the criminal, while Chris Pine is more straight-laced.
Yes.
And due to circumstances, with them needing money, they have to rob these banks.
Yes.
And you can very much see the weight, the guilt that Chris Pine feels for it throughout the entire movie.
Yes. Whereas Ben Foster, his character doesn't so much. It's just the character, though.
No, and it's a great character. And
other than I don't know if it's spoiler territory or not, but their mother that passed.
Yes.
He for 1 second shows emotion about his mother passing, and then I think he blows it off and says, she didn't love me anyway, or something like that.
It's such a small scene.
Yeah.
But it sets up so much between the two of them. The driving, it's the camera following the car.
It is.
And every single time, it shows them talking in the car, it's never, on a mount of any sort. No. It's actually them driving. Ben Foster's driving that car, and the camera is following in a...
They use that Russian arm very well.
Very well.
I don't know. I don't remember the director off the top of my head. I apologize for that, but they used that Russian arm wonderfully. Especially that shot that you're talking about, when it just sort of follows them at first, and then Ben Foster turns the car, and it's goes right into a T-bone, and then just follows them.
Goes right up to the window, and the scene takes place right there.
That's great.
It's amazingly well done.
Yes.
It really stood out to me while watching.
Oh, yes. It's a very beautifully shot movie.
It is. And it's an understated movie, though, too. The cinematography is very understated. It doesn't, there are some grand shots in it.
Yeah.
But, it's all low-key. It's really not making any sense what I'm saying, but it's just kind of there's some great helicopter shots with them driving at the very beginning.
Yes.
But everything else is just kind of everything is done in service to the story.
It's very subtle, which is sort of the story is kind of subtle.
It is.
There's some shots, slider shots or whatever, dolly shots, just real basic, just you barely see it move, but it's moving, and it follows the story.
So Jeff Bridges plays a Texas Ranger.
Yes.
Who is assigned the case to go and get him.
Yes.
And he is introduced in the most funny way, in my opinion.
Yes.
Is his partner Alberto,
Yes.
comes up to him and tries to give him this case.
Mexican Native American Alberto.
Yes. And he says to him, and Jeff Bridges kind of just, like giving him lip.
Yes.
Which
is throughout the movie.
Throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. And he says to him that, well, want to hear about this bank robberies? You just want to sit there and let the Alzheimer's take over. And that's really leads me to saying that this movie is one of the funniest movies that I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
And it's not like because it's gags or it's not a comedy. It's a very serious, dramatic movie, but
extremely witty.
Yeah, throughout, there's the banter and the dialogue is amazingly written.
No matter who they're focusing on, whether it's Ben Foster and Chris Pine, who are witty amongst themselves, if they're focusing on them, you get wit with them. If they're focusing on Jeff Bridges and Alberto, which I think the actor's name is Gil Montgomery, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm gonna call him Alberto. They're witty as well, so you get witty from both sides. So it's they do a good job interjecting it.
The wit and the banter and the dialogue, it's smartly written.
The waitress from the T-Bone Cafe. What don't you want? That scene was funny too.
Oh yeah.
Because usually even though Alberto and Jeff Bridges play well off each other, they both sort of they go above one another.
Yeah.
This lady trumped both of them.
Yeah.
It made them both look stupid.
And the plot too. It's
very good plot.
It's very good plot.
It is.
And it shows that Jeff Bridges' character and his partner Alberto, they play off each other very well. It shows that he's very smart as well.
Yeah.
He kind of figures that this one bank is where they're probably going to go next. And so they go and stake it out. And that's where that anti-bank message comes even more.
Heavier. With a great monologue.
It's a great monologue. Fantastic monologue, fantastically delivered.
By Alberto.
And it's very well done.
You hear about these bank robberies? You may get to have some fun before they send you off to the rocking chair yet.
I may have one hunt left in me.
The only riff I think I really have about this movie, other than kind of the ending, is Jeff Bridges' Mary Sue-ness in it. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Mary Sue is, I'm going to put the definition up right here.
Is there a masculine version of a Mary Sue?
I don't know. I tried to find one, and I put male Mary Sue, and it just gave me Mary Sue. So Mike Sue, Mike Sue,
Mike Sue,
Mikey Sue.
I like Mike Sue.
We'll call it Mike Sue.
Mike Sue.
But Mary Sue is typically an innocent character who can do anything that they get their hands on, like
Make
Rey.
no mistakes.
Make no mistakes, like Rey in Force Awakens, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I guess I kind of do.
Most famous and modern Mary Sue.
Yes. But Jeff Bridges is not an innocent character by any stretch. He's very racist to everybody. He's a jerk. But he's, with very little evidence, he's able to piece together this crime almost like that. To what you were just saying, he's like, they're going to go rob this bank in, I think it's Colombia, which is amazing I know these little details. He's going to rob the Texas Midlands and Columbia is the next one robbed, and then they just stake it out.
Yeah.
And then he's
But
like...
he's wrong. They do not rob that.
They were going to.
But they don't.
But they turn the last minute, which kind of puts it... But still, it's like throughout the movie, I guess up until that point where they decide we can't go to Columbia because it's too small, we want to do a bigger bank, which is Ben Foster's idea, which shows Chris Pine should not listen to his older brother because he's stupid.
And that's where they make the bad mistake of going to Polk, Texas?
Post, Texas. Which also plays into the whole thing, don't mess with Texas.
Yes, it's an anti-litter campaign from the 70s. That's all it is.
Nice.
You know what else is cool, Texas? Give a hoot, don't pollute. Don't mess with Texas is about as awesome as that.
Really ruins what that phrase means.
I know.
But now I lost my train. Oh, but he's up until that point, he figures out everything they're doing. He knows with no surveillance cameras, other than the one that the bank that Ben Foster robbed by himself that wasn't part of the plan. That's the only one that had surveillance. but he's still able to figure it out almost out of thin air because he's a grizzled vet, I guess, that he's just seen
He's
it before.
experienced.
Yeah,
He
I don't
just
know.
knows that they're not.
But
he knows they're,
it's
they're
almost
smart.
that riff that I have on it because of that is just it's a nitpicky thing.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't. It seemed too easy.
You want a little advice? Go see your boys and mom.
You know, you talk like we ain't gonna get away with this.
I've never met nobody got away with anything, ever.
And why in the hell did you agree to do it?
Because you asked, little brother.
Mama, take this badge off of me.
I think I got these boys figured.
He's got no record. He's never been arrested. He don't fit the bill, Marcus.
And it really is just one of the most powerful scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
I really loved the scene.
You talking about with Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine at
Yes,
the end? Oh
at
yeah,
the very end.
I
At the very
completely,
end.
I agree.
Jeff Bridges is sitting there, Chris
Yep.
Pine sitting there, and they're all talking. And Jeff Bridges is basically saying, you know, I know you did it. He's
Yeah.
saying it clear as day.
Yeah,
Chris Pine, he's smart.
yeah,
It's always double talk.
yeah.
It's always just he's kind of going around it. And then it eventually, you know, builds to a moment where he basically, you know, you killed my brother.
Yep.
And Jeff Bridges,
It's like you killed my partner,
you killed my partner.
and Chris Pine says, I didn't kill your partner, and he's like, you might as well have because you set
The
the.
whole thing in motion.
Yes,
4 people dead.
yes,
And it's very tense.
it is.
I had no idea what was going to happen.
No.
When I was watching it, I was like,
They're gonna shoot out. I
was
thought they
like-
were gonna shoot out right now.
same here.
Because they set up earlier, I don't remember when, but they set up earlier. It was Jeff Bridges and his partner Alberto talking. It's like, or Jeff Bridges says, I might as well end like Guns a-Blazing or something along those lines. I don't quite remember the line, but it's about that, you know. I'd rather just, so I don't have to retire and sit on a porch, I'd rather just go out Guns a-Blazing.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was thinking. Well, now we're gonna get to the, you know, now that's gonna come full circle, and we're gonna have a gunfight here, and it sits.
And it's great, too,
And it
because he
builds.
says, do you really think you could get to that pistol or that gun
Yeah.
before I shoot you with this rifle? Because
Yeah.
Chris Pine, he's above him. He's got the high ground,
does
which
have the high
according to
ground.
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Star Wars reference number 2.
it's unbeatable.
It's unbeatable, which, I mean, it was.
So we're waiting for Chris Pine to take Jeff Bridges' arms and legs off with a lightsaber. And so anyways, it's really tense because
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges starts doing that thing with his hand
Yeah.
where he starts to...
He has his hat on his boot,
Yeah.
too, and he's just sort of like swinging his
Yeah, and
foot
it's
around and stuff.
so tense.
It
And
is.
It's like I literally, like I said earlier, I had no idea what was going to happen. Then the car pulls up.
Then his wife, or ex-wife, and sons pull up,
And they
you-
get out.
And you hear Chris Pine let his hand off the hammer. And it's like, oh, what are you doing here? And, you know, and it's cool because Jeff Bridges now is like, he realizes that, oh, this was really for something more. It wasn't just, because he does say it. He's like, you know, obviously you were the brains behind the whole thing to Chris Pine, because if your brother was, there'd be a new truck and 4 jet skis, and he'd be out trying to rob another one because your brother just loved doing it.
Then he goes and he stops Jeff Bridges.
Yep.
And he says that, you know, my ex-wife and my kids live here now. I got a little house outside town or somewhere in town.
Yeah, he's got a little house.
He says,
somewhere.
so if you want to settle this, you can stop by later on. And he goes, and Jeff Bridges says, yeah, I'd love to.
They just made a coffee date is what they did.
Yes, but then he says, Chris Pine says, you know, maybe we can find some peace in this. And Jeff Bridges says, no, you'll never find peace with this. You'll carry it with the rest of your days.
Yep.
So will I. And that's how
it ends.
That's it. So that's where I was left hanging, and everyone's left hanging. What happens next?
That's why it's not a riff of mine, but I was like, I just wanted to see who won. Like, who would win? And so I was like, I loved it, but then I was like frustrated because I'm like, no, you took the closure for me, because now it ends on this ambiguous ending. You don't know who wins.
See, I love endings like that.
Yeah, I do too, and then I hate them at the same time.
But see, I don't see them going back to have a shootout. I don't see it becoming a shootout. For some reason, in my mind, I see him going there.
Yeah.
And them having banter back and forth. And then he's going to leave. And then I see them meeting up again, banter back and forth. He's going to leave. And I see them becoming friends over I don't know why, years or whatever. I see Chris Pine replacing Alberto to Jeff Bridges, and Jeff Bridges replacing Ben Foster to Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And like I said, that may be totally, wrong, but there is no wrong answers because guess what? They left it ambiguous.
They
did. And so I see them becoming friends.
Sure.
I don't see a shootout happening between them.
I don't know. I was just too like, oh man.
Yeah.
I wanted it. I wanted to see what would happen, and then you didn't get it. But that's okay. Because it was still a good ending.
It was.
Even though I didn't get the closure I wanted, it was still, because of the suspense and everything, it was such a good ending. That
it was satisfying.
It was.
It felt, it's like...
And it could almost be that they don't ever meet up. Like, Jeff Bridges doesn't come
Just
to the
never
house.
goes there.
Yeah, he doesn't do it. They just both live with the torture or whatever.
The guilt
of
for
yeah.
4 people dead for the rest of their lives.
Yep. Jeff Bridges not getting there fast enough to stop it in time and just all that. So, who knows?
Yeah. So the movie definitely deserves all the praise
Yeah.
that it's getting, and even more so. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about it, sadly.
No, that's just because it's an underdog compared to La La Land and others, which everyone's saying is going to clean house. La La Land is, which is fine. But I think for a movie of this quality of entertainment, 'cause it's funny, it's got action, it's got the drama and the suspense, as we talked about at the very end. Well, throughout really, but usually these types of movies don't get the critical acclaim like an Oscar nominated.
And it's a smart movie.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
smart movie. It's fun in all the right ways of being fun. It's serious, has weight to it. Has a great moral dilemma at its center.
Yes.
And it's executed flawlessly almost in every way. Now, for this whole show, it's called Love It or Riff It. So, Charles, did you love it or will you riff it?
I love it a lot. Like I said, there's a couple little nitpicky things, because I mean, no movie's perfect, right? So yeah,
Except Tremors.
Sure.
Tremors is the perfect movie.
Okay. But no, so I mean, there's always little things. I didn't care that Jeff Bridges' character figured everything out with very little information, and the ending, like the shootout stuff, just seemed a little. It wasn't clunky. It was odd to me. Maybe it was such like a drastic character shift for Ben Foster's character. I don't know, but it's nitpicky stuff because it was still it's an amazing movie, and so I love it, and I don't care that Jeff Bridges is perfect, or perfect. Yeah, even though he's a racist, so he's not perfect. Jeremy, do you love it or are you gonna riff it?
Well, I think it's obvious throughout the review that I hated this movie.
Yes, it was awful.
It was terrible. I don't recommend it. No, I'm just joking. Actually, it's a fantastic movie.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. It's I've been recommending it to pretty much everyone that I talk to.
As have I.
It's one of those films that I'm just like, yes, watch it, give it a look. It's really good.
Yep.
I'd
put up there with best, because it is a modern day Western, so I'm comfortable making it a Western.
Oh, I think so.
So I'd put up, because I love Tombstone. I think you love Tombstone as well.
Tombstone's
I'd put up
right.
there with Tombstone as one of my favorite Westerns.
Unforgiven is one of mine, and I think I would put it up there with
It's
Unforgiven.
really good.
So.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
You want to get us killed? Huh?
Well, that concludes our first episode of Love It or Riff It. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us as we hopefully will continue this series as we continue to watch movies and talk about the movies we love and movies we see and upcoming movies as well.
Yes. And hopefully you come back and you weren't bored to death with this one.
Yes, I'm so sorry if you were.
We'll get the hang of it, promise.
It was his fault if it was boring.
It's true. I have no personality.
It's all good, but one day you'll find it.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Anyway, see you next time.
See you next time.
So that was a really good episode, I think. Yeah. Now the credits are rolling, and they have no idea that they're just a bunch of stooges watching this. Who would watch this garbage?
Right? Oh, yeah, probably. It's like, you didn't leave the mics on, did you?
I did. Oh, dang.